Have you ever wondered why we feel jealous? Why are we attracted to certain people and not others? Why do we fear social failure more than death itself sometimes? And why do we possess a mind capable of love, lies, anger, and sacrifice all at once? Welcome to Evolutionary Psychology, the science that turns everything we know about ourselves upside down and reveals that our deepest emotions aren't random, but have been planned for millions of years. Chapter 1. The mind is not a blank slate. For so long, some believed that the human mind is born empty, like a blank slate that experience then fills. But evolutionary psychology presents an astonishing vision. The human mind is not a blank slate. It contains a set of intelligent tools. These tools evolved to solve specific problems our ancestors faced. Your mind today is the result of thousands of generations of experience, of love, conflict, fear, alliance, and sex. Almost all your emotions were forged under the pressure of natural and sexual selection. Chapter 2. Evolutionary Principles. This science depends on 3 Darwinian pillars. The first is natural selection, traits that help survival spread. The second is sexual selection, traits that attract more partners multiply. The third is adaptation, mechanisms that helped our ancestors survive evolved and became established. These principles don't just explain the shape of our bodies, but also explain the shape of our emotions, desires, and even our morals. Chapter 3. The challenges that shape the mind. To understand humans, we must understand the challenges they faced for thousands of years. These challenges shaped our minds. How do we survive hunger and predators? How do we choose the right partner? How do we protect our children? How do we build alliances and detect who deceives us? All these questions were programmed into intelligent mechanisms inside our brains, and they still work today. Chapter 4. Love is not innocent, one of the most controversial chapters. David Buss explains why men and women love in different ways. Women evolved a preference for men capable of providing resources and commitment, while men search for signs of fertility, like beauty and youth. Despite cultural differences, these patterns appear globally, which means they're not just society's creation, but evolution's creation. Chapter 5. Jealousy, an evolutionary mechanism. Why do we feel jealous? Why are we sensitive to our partner's simplest behaviors? Evolutionary psychology answers clearly. Men are more sensitive to sexual infidelity because they want to ensure their children's paternity. Women are more sensitive to emotional infidelity because they need to ensure their partner's commitment. It seems painful, but these are mechanisms developed to protect reproductive investment. Chapter 6. Violence and competition. Why are men more inclined toward violence? Simply because they're in constant competition for status and women. In previous eras, the successful man was one who won battles, protected his resources, and obtained more reproductive opportunities. The analysis even extends to phenomena like killing rivals and female infanticide in some cultures. Fighting between males isn't justification, but scientific explanation for behavior that was once useful for survival. Chapter 7. Perception and thinking. Our minds aren't always rational, but they're evolutionarily effective. For example, we easily detect liars. We distinguish between close and distant people. We feel annoyed by those who deceive us. All this results from adaptive perception mechanisms that evolved to protect us from exploitation and enhance our chances of survival within the group. Chapter 8. Family and reproduction. Why do we love our children this way? Why does a father sometimes feel more protective of his daughter than his son? Why don't people love their spouse's children as much as they love their biological children? The answer lies in evolutionary psychology. Genetic relatedness determines the degree of willingness to sacrifice and care. Even parental investments differ. Men often investigate the child's paternity. Women invest directly in care because they're certain of parentage. Chapter 9. Morality, Evolution, Not Divine. Are morals heavenly or biological? Buss sees that many values like justice, generosity, and loyalty result from mechanisms that evolve to serve social and reproductive interests. Someone who displays generosity, for example, improves their reputation and increases their chances of cooperation or mate selection. Chapter 10. Science or speculation? Some might think evolutionary psychology is just stories about the past. But the reality is it uses precise scientific methodology. First, it begins by identifying an evolutionary problem. Second, it assumes the existence of a psychological mechanism to solve it. Third, it formulates clear predictions. Fourth, it tests them experimentally. Example: why do men prefer young women? Do these preferences appear in all world cultures? The answer is yes, which supports the evolutionary hypothesis. Chapter 11. Between past and present, the human mind was designed for an environment that no longer exists. We carry in our heads the mind of a hunter-gatherer, while we live in a fast-paced industrial world. For this reason, we eat sugar excessively because it was once rare. We fear embarrassment more than death sometimes, because rejection was an existential danger. We're drawn to drama and fighting clips more than academic lectures. All this because our evolutionary mechanisms didn't evolve to suit the modern world, but the ancestral world. Conclusion: the science that redefines humanity, evolutionary psychology, doesn't tell you how you should be, but tells you why you are the way you are. It's not a call to determinism or to justify negative behaviors, but it's a tool for understanding the deep roots of our behavior and helping us overcome what's no longer useful. In the end, you won't understand jealousy, love, or even conscience unless you understand that your mind isn't contemporary, but an ancient inheritance that still beats in your chest.